Nigga, that's gay.
Nigga, you gay.
Nigga, get out of here. uh, Kazias.
Hi, can you bring this Ragehound on as well, please?
Can I
Same
bring
time
what?
as me. Ragehound as well. She's a furry.
Oh, sure.
We got the
Ragehound.
really cringe corners. And
Hi,
then
Rage. We're just, you're on now.
Oh, hello.
Obviously, we were just talking about this. And my main point that pisses me off the most about all this, the furries in general, is they inject their shit into everything. No matter where you go, you will inject it into everything. And you can't deny that.
Are you saying that the furries inject their furry stuff into everything?
Yeah, inject it into everything. You can.
That,
I was just saying,
fair.
you can go into a forum about fucking eating food, right? Completely unrelated. And okay, you might have your furry avatar, but the second anything remotely dog will come up, you'll start with like, ooh, ooh, furry. I'm a furry. Yiff, yiff, yiff.
I think that also comes down to ages, because there's a lot of younger people joining the community who don't always practice the best social practices. Like, they'll come in and just be cringe because they're used to having the safe space of a convention or like a very small online forum. So I understand that is probably annoying as shit, and I'm really sorry on behalf of my community if that is what you've experienced, because it's, like I said, it's not all of us. Like you had mentioned, we were talking in the other group that you're convinced that all of it is sexual, and it's not.
And, well, I didn't say all. No, not all. But the majority, 99.9% of all furry shit is sexual. And I think my point is, you'll get people that say, "Oh no, we're not. It's not sexual at all. No, it's not."
Yeah. Do you believe that it's not a sexual fandom inherently, Rachel?
It depends. It depends on why you joined it. There's a group of people who joined it because that is what appeals to them, and then there's a group that also joined because of escapism. And then there's a group that's just not really sure and is still undecided. I'm on the side
I'm gonna flatly call you out because V said something.
Yeah,
do you know who V is by any chance, Rage?
V.
The Sargon guy, the Romanian guy from the Sargon Club. He flat out said that it's about porn, and anybody who says it's not about porn is full of shit. And he's been a furry for fucking forever. I think he's out now. But yeah, that's his take.
Yeah, that's his take, but I don't feel like one guy talks for all of us at all, especially with how much it's changed. It may have started that way, but it's much different.
But you're a woman, right?
Yeah, I'm also gonna say it is a little different for females in the community too, because
I know. Shout out to oh whoa, what's this? A user from the forum who is now banned. Rest in peace. Who is a huge pornaholic regarding the furry fandom. She's like all sorts of weird, crazy fucking shit from like E621. I mean, like everybody, a lot of people that I've met from the fandom are in it almost exclusively for the porn, and everything else is an auxiliary concern.
True, but that's like saying everyone in the anime community is there for the tentacle porn and hentai. Not everyone. I mean, there's a group, but there's a group, but it's not everyone.
But anime is just animation from Japan. Like there's anime porn, but the furry fandom seems to almost exclusively stem from this sexual fascination with animals.
If I could just go here, right? It's yes, you do have a lot of sexuality in the fucking anime community, the furry community, and all this, or every fucking community in the world, right? But the fact is, the percentage is a lot higher in the furry community, and the degeneracy is fucking enormous, right? And I was just saying, you don't have people disavowing it, really, in the furry community. You'll have people trying to get worse and worse and worse, and it'll just get worse, fucking worse. And then you turn into this fucking shit, like Snake fucking twat. Right? It just gets worse and worse. And this is what happens when you don't have anyone. Yeah, but you don't have anyone calling it out, right? You don't have anyone calling it out. No, it fucking is. Of course it is.
No, we had a.
Okay, you might have one fucking person call it out, but like, no.
I would agree.
Every major furry YouTuber, I know that's a weird concept, has disavowed it to some degree, either making a video on it, speaking on it, tweeting about it, cutting connections. Some of us are even actively moving to have people who have been confirmed with sites like Kiwi Farms. We've actually used that to confirm it and have taken that to authorities, and we're pursuing arrests and we're pursuing bans from our events.
What a nice coincidence that that's happening now, right?
Well, it's been happening. It just hasn't happened in the eye of the public because it hasn't been someone as big before.
In the public, though, hold up. When people talk about this, it seems like the furries get mad, like, "Oh, you're talking about drama. You're bringing up drama. We just want to have fun. We don't want to have drama." And they seem to want to already be past it. They want to.
Yeah, in my opinion, saying it's drama is bullshit. That's almost as bad as just ignoring it, pretending it doesn't exist. I've gotten a lot of heat for coming out and just being like, fuck no, I don't want this being associated with something that for me isn't sexual and for me is an escape from a stressful job. Just run around like a dog for 5 minutes.
You can't say this isn't sexual. My fucking ass.
How do you feel? Do you go to conventions?
Yes.
Do you have a suit
I'm a regular
or a costume?
Yes. I do.
What's your opinion on children going to these conventions?
I think depending on how the convention's set up, it can be either a very safe environment or it's not advised. It depends on how it's set up. It's entirely, if there is they have some that are child-friendly and forced. You cannot have anything inherently sexual there. Or there's some where it's cordoned off. It just depends on how it's set up. It's just like, would you take your kid to New York Comic Con knowing that there's a couple of lewd artists there? If it's separated, sure. If it's out in the open and your kid could grab an art booklet and see something they're not supposed to, then no, I don't think they should be going.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go on that. Yeah. So, if it's a non-sexual fucking con, right, you just know that the most people that are fucking going to this con are still the sexualized, degenerate fuckers that are going to the sexual con, if you can separate it, right? And do you want children around these kind of scumbags? The answer is fucking no.
If they're scumbags.
They all are.
No, so you're calling me a scumbag as well?
Yes, I am. I'm calling you a scumbag because you're a furry. Yes, you are.
It does seem like to me, I don't want to just insult you. I'm happy that you came on and had this conversation with us, but it does seem like now, if you are a member of the furry community, you're no matter how much you say that you're trying to root it out, it does seem like you're complicit in what's happening. Like, because I don't think it can be saved at this point. I think it's too far gone. Whatever merits it had as a fun little anthropomorphic character fandom is now completely eroded in favor of this kind of weird, creepy, harmful sexual shit.
Oh, but Josh, you don't understand. She's not in it for the sex.
I'm not, but it does suck because then when people try to go about it earnestly and just enjoy the con, shit like this pops up. I actually joined in because I saw that you were outing out some Zoosadist, and I'm actually very pro that. I want those shits arrested. I don't want them at my cons. I don't want them anywhere near me. And I sure as shit don't want them associated with our fandom and condoned by people who choose not to speak out. So I came because I'm glad you're doing it.
Okay, well, I appreciate your coming in, right, and actually having this opinion. And that's good, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure, as I said, there are a very small amount that are good, that don't want to be raping little babies and raping puppies and cutting fucking heads off. Right? That's literally what we're seeing here. And you have these furry YouTubers who were fucking defending Kero and all these disgusting people, right? If it was any other fandom in the world, you'd have all of the furries saying, "Oh, that's disgusting. I can't believe people are doing this." But because it's them, the majority of furries, okay, maybe not you, the majority of furries defend it or they ignore it. And the fact that it happens.
Well, it does seem like apathy is the overarching.
Or split. Feeling. You get people not talking. You get people being loud as shit on Twitter, or you get people making the videos saying this is not acceptable, and disillusioned fuckheads being like, "No, like it's not wrong. Like I stand." I'm like, "Fuck that. No,
don't." You
will have people.
Hold up, guys. Let me ask this, because Andy Worski was making a joke that he was going to put on a suit. I suggested, my friend suggested the Wolverine as his persona, and he said he might do it, which I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Andy Worski, but he said he was going to do it. And he had a furry come on, and he's like, everybody in the furry fandom is gay. Most people in the fandom are gay. Are you gay?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the spectrum. I'm pan. I'd kind of go either way. But
hold up. So
All right, just 1 second. I respect that you're like saying snide comments. I'd really like to hear what Josh has to say. I'm sorry.
Suck a dick.
So his point was, if you go to the furry convention as a straight man looking for women, you will be pounced upon by all the fucking women who are completely ignored at these fandoms because most of the guys are gay. Do you go to fandoms and pick up guys?
Nope.
No? Never once?
No, honestly, I don't go with that intent, but most of the time, I just go to see friends that are out of state that I don't see that much. It's like going to Comic-Con for me. I haven't seen these people in a month, and we all show up here, we get pizza, we hang, and we drink and go to parties, but
Can I ask
that's about it.
What the what percentage of cons end up in like a hookup if you don't go there to hook up? Like, is it most of them, or?
Almost never happens, to be honest, because you're not wrong in believing that most guys in our fandom are gay. So it's not really like I go there to do it, but the odds aren't good in general. But I don't go with that intention. It's like I don't.
What do you mean by pan? By the way, you got men and women. What else is included in the spectrum when you add pan instead of bi?
It's more of like trans, non-binary. I mean, I'm female and cis, so like whatever. But if someone is interesting to me, I don't particularly care which gender they are at all.
I've got a question. Why do you think it attracts a lot of gay men or trans?
Sense of belonging. I think a lot of people sometimes feel unsafe or kind of nervous where they're standing either with their family or if they're coming into the realization that they are gay and they're not really accepted by family. The good thing about our community is we do accept about everyone. The bad news about our community is we sometimes do accept everyone. So on the positive, you do find a place to belong. On the negative, sometimes the people you belong with are shit, and we try to get rid of them as best we can. We're working on it, is all I can really say for that.
My main annoyance, really, well, two main annoyance. One, you inject it into every single thing, and two, it's the outright ignoring of things and just not kicking it out. Obviously from a third party. I'm not in the community. I don't look at the furry shit, but all I see is the absolute disgusting shit that you guys do, right? And to me, it just seems that all your furry YouTubers, your furry Twitter guys, you just do not deny it, or you just ignore it, and it's just disgusting.
So, may I ask a question? Have you only seen negative things that we've done, or only? So you don't know that we raise money for charity? We raise money for charity at every con.
Well, so did I don't know if you know the lore behind like Dark Side Phil. There was like a group of people who constantly stalked the fucking guy, and when they got called out for being creepy stalkers, their first instinct was to raise money for like a water well in Africa. Like, you can raise money for a charity.
Yeah, it's just that we've always done it for like an animal-based charity, or some of us have. Trying to think of the other things. Like, we also have people who try to make an effort to help their local communities. Some people go to like local runs in suit, to kind of get people interested and excited and like have a friendly face there. I know that's gonna trigger someone to go, ew, what's in the mask? But like we try to give back to our community as best we can. We have EMTs, we have doctors, we have some actual pretty interesting people in the community that give back. But admittedly, most people's first instinct when they see furry is to go to E621 and go, that's the community. And I'm like, that's not.
Well, that's my point with that is the leaders of the community are people like Varka, whoever, the guy that fucking owns Ink Bunny. You have all these website admins, and they almost always are dog fuckers. Like, the guy who owns Ink Bunny is a thrice convicted sex offender against children. Varka's business associates are in prison for animal abuse right now. And it's kind of hard for me to say, well, the fandom that is built up around these sites, and I know Dragoneer's the guy that owns Fur Affinity, and I know he has his own sordid history that I don't even know the full depth to, because it's been fucking like a decade with him. But it seems like everybody who leads the community is at least some kind of sex offender.
Not all, but I mean, I can see where the ones you would hear about would be in that group. Because there's a bunch that haven't really done shit, but they also, again, don't really do shit that gets them that much attention. I mean, like Kage, who runs Anthrocon, does talks, and yeah, they get a little racy, but like in terms of actually doing anything bad, he hasn't done anything to my knowledge.
Well, to everybody's knowledge, but we do know that some of these conventions, like there are ones in Nevada that are right next to furry groups that advocate for like the legalization of. Actually, I don't know Nevada's laws too bad. I think they actually do allow bestiality in Nevada, and you have these organizations that are furry based that have advocacy for animal sex, and the conventions around there are alleged to have these petting zoos because it's legal there.
If it's a convention, I'd love to know which one, because I don't believe any of the ones that I've interacted with or spent any time knowing like the main people who run it to have that be even allowed. Because a lot of them do try to keep a family-friendly section for the con, and that would definitely violate the living shit out of it. So if there is a con that exists like that, shoot me the info. I would love to investigate it and take a deeper look into it. I mean, I came on here not to beat the war drum for furries and say we're not all shit. I just thought maybe it'd be interesting for you guys to have another perspective. I don't know.
Well, it is interesting.
I understand this, and I
appreciate the civil conversation. I fully expected to get what we usually get, so it's kind of nice having a nice, polite discourse.
Now, I understand your point, right? And I do respect to a degree that you are the nice one. But I think my point is the fact that it's just a very small amount of you. You know? You are a very minority. You're a very small amount in this community. The majority of this community... Yeah. Well, I don't care that you're female. I don't care what you are. It's the fact that you are a minority. In this community, the majority of you are very fucking degenerate.
And I don't want to harp on this for too long, but I do want to ask one specific, your opinion of one specific person and a statement that he said before I move on, because I don't want this to go on for like 3 hours. I do want to.
And like I got shit to do, so yeah. I get it.
So last question before I violently sunset everybody is, what is your opinion on yourmoviesucks.org, Adam Johnston, and his claim that an animal can consent through body language sex?
Oh God, he did say that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. See, that's what I mean. It's like all the popular people in the fandom have that kind of shit, which is why...
Not all of them, but God, if one had to say it, Jesus fucking Christ, that would be the one.
Yeah, Adam, like fucking yourmoviesucks.org is probably the most highest profile, like in terms of having having presence outside of the furry community. Adam Johnston's like an emissary, and he goes on his Reddit and says it's okay to fuck dogs if they consent through body language. And I'm just curious,
oh good God,
what your opinion is of that, and like, can you understand why, even if it wasn't true?
Wholeheartedly disagree in that statement being in any way valid in terms of what he said. Like, no, fucking no. And kind of mad that he even said that, but shit, like that is if you talk to anyone that like I associate with in our community, that is not at all correct. That is not something I would even stand behind at all. And Jesus Christ, I forgot he'd said that. That reminds me why I've blocked him.
And but you've blocked him?
As soon as I see any shit like that from a member of my community, gone. Block. Really? If I have evidence, turn it in. And if I have hard copy evidence, usually grabbed from you guys, send it to every con chair and do my part to try to get them banned. Well, I'm probably a pariah in my own community, but you know.
Well, out of curiosity, since you mentioned that this has reflected negatively on you because you do, you don't approve of these people, what would need to happen for you to say, I don't want to be a part of this, I'm exiting the fandom?
There's been a few close calls. I'm not going to lie. I actually was colleagues with Kiro, who did get big outing.
Wow.
Yep. And as one of his close friends, I had no idea that was going on until someone outed it. I had no idea because we don't live in the same state. Like, we hardly see each other. And to be fair, we don't interact much at cons because he's a really big YouTuber and I'm a really small one. So that almost had me leave. when some shit came out about another one.
That would like, if something what could happen right now to make you think I don't want any part of this?
Honestly, if the entire staff for a con that I love, or an entire group of people, have another one of these things happen where they just quietly don't say shit, and there's a person doing animal abuse, child sex ring, grooming, anything in that group, that might be the last straw, because I've had 3 close calls now where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm out. And then, you know, the community pushes back, gets them arrested, or shuns them and like gets them the fuck out. But if that happened and no one did a thing, yeah, I'm out. Fuck it.
They're at the precipice of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
All right, well, Kaz, you got anything left to say?
No, I'm cool. I'm just, I was just pissed, you know, and I'm still pissed because it's just so frustrating, these furries, that they even do all this stuff. It's just disgusting. And I do like, you know, you get some people that are like this, you know, they might not be complete degenerates. They may not be in it completely for the sexual thing. And I understand the anime community does this. Every community does this. But it's just the fact that there's so many of you guys that are into all this kind of crap, and you don't deny it. You never put it away. It's just so frustrating. Fucks me off. That's all I have to say.
All right.
No, that's fair. And I appreciate it. I'll let you get someone else in. I'm sure I'll get roasted to high heaven by everyone waiting in the call-in. But have a lovely day.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for calling in. I enjoyed this conversation.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.